To find a buyer after years of losing money. Seattle becomes the second major U.S. city to lose a paper this year. The Rocky Mountain News in Denver closed earlier this month, also unable to find a buyer. A parent's nightmare out of Arkansas. 10 children got sick after drinking windshield wiper fluid. A staffer at the daycare there mistook the liquid for Kool-Aid and served it to the kids. Now, this brings attention to a big problem, the dangers of look-alike products. Chanel is telling us this is Poison Prevention Week and a good reminder for all parents. Chanel?
John, we brought you into our green room today so we could spread out and kind of show you some of the things that you may have around your house, just so parents, you know how to keep your kids safe. Joining me now is Allison Mueller. She's with Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and she manages their Poison Control Center. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thanks for the
and John said, this is Poison Prevention Week, and I think a lot of parents say, yeah, and they keep it moving. It's kind of like Heart Week or anything else. But how often do you see cases where a kid gets a hold of something that they shouldn't?
Well, it's very common, especially in the younger children who are exploring their environment, and it especially is tricky when there's things that are in, let's say, the kitchen, like the windshield washer fluid that can be easily mistaken for this sports drink, or then other food items that look just like poison items. So
let's take it a step at a time here. This one is interesting with the grated cheese and the Comet.
The containers look very similar. If you had this in your kitchen cabinet, you may think that this is cheese. So certainly something that's dangerous that could be mistaken not only by a young child but by an adult as well.
Okay, and this sports drink, this is, if you just look at the colors here, it's not easy to see why, but the daycare worker actually put it in the fridge and the kids consumed it. And this is Hawaiian Punch.
Right. So two things to remember with this, not only to keep non-food items out of your kitchen, but also to keep them in the original containers. Because if this ends up in a pitcher or in a juice container, that's something that you can mistake for juice quite easily.
And what about this next one? You have the sports drink here.
So this is just another danger. This is antifreeze, highly toxic, and then another type of sports drink, very similar in color. And actually, the antifreeze has a sweet taste to it. So real important to keep that away from children as well as pets because they may not be tipped off that the taste is off. It tastes like sugar.
And Allison, I have nieces and nephews. Kids are everywhere. And, Dad puts that on the kitchen counter. He's going to run out and do something with the car. And the little toddler gets it and goes after it. It's that simple. And
we've had exact scenarios as that. And we've also had adults mistake that for a drink. So not only children but adults have that issue.
Now, what do we have here on this plate?
So there's some pharmaceuticals here and there's some candy. So here is an over-the-counter laxative and here is chocolate bar. These are some candies and these are some ibuprofen. So important not to mix these in your purse as well.
And sometimes people take their pills out of the containers. And I have a girlfriend that does that and she has this bottle with all sorts of pills in there. Yeah, gotta be careful with that. And what about these, the gummy candies?
So these aren't the candies. These are the vitamins. And these are the candies.
Even I would have mistaken them. Can kids not take too many of those because they're vitamins, right?
Well, vitamins taken in the right amount are certainly good for children's bodies, but taken in excessive amounts can certainly cause a poisoning.
All right, and this one I remember when this was in the news. The apple juice versus is it the tiki torch oil?
Yes.
What's the deal there? I guess it's still happening.
Well, you could tell the colors are very similar. Even the container is similar, and young children who can't read can't see that this is tiki torch oil. And this, if taken, can cause serious problems with the lungs.
Okay, and then finally, what do you have here on the end?
So then this is a cleaner, and it's actually a scented cleaner. And then this is beverage. And these two last things, this is a breath freshener, and this is an over-the-counter anti-itch spray.
All right, lots of things here, like I said, and these are things that we all have in our home. Finally, I was reading something about plants and berries and stuff like that. Do kids really get into those kind of problems, even outside?
They do. They look at these nice shiny red berries and they want to taste them.
Now, you know what? Now that you say that, I remember we used to go in our neighbor, and I'm alive, so clearly I'm okay. But I remember our neighbors used to, and I don't even know what they were, and we would pick them off and chew them. So what do? Just tell your kids not to do that?
Well, it's you can teach them, but when they're very young, you just need to keep a close eye because they, sometimes just want to pop them in their mouth and see what they taste like, even if you tell them not to.
All right. Well, Allison Miller from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
And John, you have little ones, so it's just news we can all use.